Scarface was directed by Brian De Palma and was released back in 1983, I believe, and is known as an iconic film landmark in cinema. And for its time was technically a really big flick. Technically, this film was the crime film of almost all crime films. So in this film, the story revolves around a man named Tony Montana. And his friend tried to build this strong drug empire in Miami. And Montana has to deal with hardships through his business. And as the film progresses, we get to see Montana's frustration and power grow, as well as his paranoia. When it comes to crime films, they all have a very unique way of setting up their own stories. Like movies like The Goodfellas, The Godfather, A Clockwork Orange, The Shawshank Redemption, The Dark Knight. You can do a lot of things with crime films, and crime films are a very relevant piece of cinema. Crime films are just a very interesting, highly interesting topic of cinema, actually. And Scarface is definitely up there in one of the best. Scarface is one of my all-time favorite movies. And today, this film is still known as one of the best crime/gangster action films out there. And what's very interesting about Scarface is how unique the story is and how everything is set up in this film. You can relate with every single character that's a part of this film, and all of the elements that involve crime and drama and a lot of thriller and somewhat nudity moments and stuff. Tony Montana is such a relatable bad guy in this film, and he's not your typical BA bad guy. He is a man that means business. He is a very, very relatable villain. He's not stupid. He knows everything that he's going through and everything that he's ever experienced in the real world. And Tony Montana is honestly one of the best protagonist villains in any film, which leads me to his actor. I gotta talk about Al Pacino. This is in my top 10 favorite performances of all time. I don't know how he does it. I honestly don't know how he does it. Al Pacino takes every scene from this movie, every scene that he's in, he absolutely blows it out of the park. His accent, his acting, everything is on point, and everything that he says in this film is so accurate. And everything he does in this film, from beginning to ending, is just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Al Pacino is absolutely flawless in this film. He is phenomenal. He is one of my favorite actors. I love the guy. Say hello to my little friend. I'm sorry, I had to. I just had to. I just had to. Al Pacino really is something in this film. I just had to. And it's not just the acting in this film that absolutely blows everything away. The storyline of Scarface is absolutely clever. It is absolutely great. And I don't think another crime film could top this film with the same formula. Because there could probably be crime films here and there that have a similar formula to Scarface, but I don't think any of them will ever top this film. Another interesting thing about Scarface that makes this film stand out perfectly is this film revolves around business. And considering that Al Pacino and the other actors do such a great job in this film, the experience of watching this film is absolutely thrilling and highly realistic too. And it's honestly absolutely insane on how everything in this movie was put together so perfectly to make this film look like it could be something that could happen in real life. because all of the crime sequences in this film are absolutely outstanding. And this film revolves around crime. Scarface is basically the definition of drama and thriller and suspense and crime. All of those fit into this movie perfectly. Michelle Pfeiffer is absolutely great in this movie too. Her performance is absolutely perfect in this film. And as Tony Montana's wife, you can obviously tell that she knows that there's something wrong with this man. That he's done a lot of terrible bad things. And she's not out and about with him. She never even had sex with him. And the writing of her character is absolutely great. Her character experiencing Tony Montana's life in this film, the character writing of her is absolutely great. It's absolutely fantastic. The writing in this movie in general is absolutely fantastic. And the writing of the characters and the storyline mashes into a gigantic success. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio is absolutely great in this movie too as Gina, Tony Montana's sister. And the relationship between her and Montana are absolutely riveting. You can tell that throughout this entire runtime of the film, Gina is absolutely desperate. Ever since Montana has moved out of the house and hasn't been with his family for a while because he's been doing a lot of bad things. And Gina doesn't care about all the things that he's done. But later viewing, she views him as a completely different person throughout later on in the film. And it's absolutely riveting to watch. And the final moments of this movie, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Scarface, go check this movie out because it's one of my favorite movies, and come back to this review when you're done watching the movie. During the end of the movie, near the ending of the movie, where Gina is shooting Tony, and one of the firearmed men walk in on the top of the mansion and shoot Gina down, and she dies, and the reaction on Tony's face is just absolutely, it's just that you can tell that he never really wanted to hurt Gina because she's his sister, even though he's done a lot of these bad things. She never really deserved these things, and even though she tried to shoot her own brother Tony near the ending of the film, the climax, the concluding moments of Scarface are absolutely riveting, and they're a blast to watch as well. Let's talk about Paul Shenar as Alejandro Sosa. Great in this movie. He is absolutely amazing in this movie. It is absolutely insane on what Sosa does in this film. The things, and it's mostly during the ending of the film. Like I said, the conclusion. When Sosa sends these huge groups of number of men to shoot down Tony, it is absolutely insane, everything that happens. And when they're on the phone, when Tony and Alejandro are on the phone talking to each other, and Alejandro tells Tony that a certain bomb was found, it makes them impossible to attempt another hit. And then they deliver some of the best quotes in the entire movie. I told you not to f with me, Tony. I told you not to f with me. Hey, listen here. Hey, who do you think you're talking to? You want to go to war? Okay, we'll go to war. Oh my gosh. It is so great. That scene is filled with everything. It has suspense. It has drama. It has crime. It is great. And the fact that Montana even told him that he'll go to war with him, you already know that things just got real. And you're thinking to yourself that, oh crap, they're actually going to kill Tony. And every sequence, not just the ending conclusion of this film, but this entire runtime of the film absolutely keeps you in the edge of your seat. There is not a dull moment in this movie. This is a perfect movie. Scarface is one of my all-time favorite movies. A lot of things in this film to love. There are many things, everything in this film to love, actually. The crime sequences are perfectly set up. The direction is so really powerful in this film, and it's absolutely amazing to watch. Everything in this film is phenomenally set up. The story, the characters, the sequences, the drama, the suspense, the thriller, the action-packed sequences, and the crime sequences as well. Scarface is a very special, iconic film that's a part of cinema and will always stay that way. For many film lovers and many moviegoers, especially when you throw it into drama, the crime genre, or maybe even movies in general, Scarface is a masterpiece. And this is honestly one of the few crime, drama, and gangster films that still hold up to this day, just as well as it did in 1983 and during its initial release. It still holds up perfectly today. There's everything to love about this film. The acting, the story, the drama, the suspense, a lot of memorable scenes, and a lot of memorable quotes as well. There's literally nothing else to say. Of course, I'm going to give Scarface an A+. There's my review for Scarface, guys. By the way, if you haven't known by now, I took a break. I'm taking just a little short break from horror movie month, just maybe a couple of days or something. And I want to review a couple of movies that are non-horror movies, because I just love reviewing movies technically. And after those movie reviews, I'll go back to horror movie month and we'll review horror movies and stuff like that. But yeah, but anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this review. You guys are the best. I love every single one of you. Look forward to more reviews that are coming soon. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I am MarioFan520, and I will see you next time. Peace out.